everybody. I'm meteorologist Ashley Smith here in the First Alert Streaming Center on this Monday afternoon, officially noon here, obviously, with 19 at noon. So we have a lot to talk about. Obviously, we are going to be talking about the heat and humidity today and tomorrow hanging around. And then we also have storms on the way for a couple of days, so we'll detail those out for you as well and talk about the risks for severe weather and look ahead to a cool down. So this heat wave, which today will be an official heat wave, typically the definition is 3 days in a row with temperatures at or above 90 degrees. So we do think that we will officially do that today with those temperatures easily climbing into the 90s. So outside right now, those temperatures in the 80s to near 90 already. A heat advisory is in effect for the entire viewing area until 8 o'clock this evening because of the heat index being near or above 100. That basically is what it feels like outside. And yes, it is going to be dangerously hot and humid. You know, this is a lot like what we dealt with in June when we had that 8 days in a row with temperatures at or above 90. And we also had heat advisories, watches, warnings, all of it issued. Now, National Weather Service has not issued anything for tomorrow, but I think it's going to be a very similar situation across the area tomorrow as well. Right now, lots of sunshine out there. It's actually a really pretty kind of day outside with a lot of sunshine, obviously. But it is going to be dangerously hot and humid. So again, if you're going to be out and about, hydrate, stay in the shade, wear a hat, maybe even one of those bucket hats so it provides some protection on your neck and shoulders too. Whatever you can do to try and stay cool. I know some folks just have to work outside in this heat. So yeah, definitely dangerously hot and humid. And it's not just, you know, kind of cooling down your body temperature. It's also dealing with all of your organs working harder to keep you cool and hydrated and all that. So it kind of goes beyond just your actual body temperature, the heart, the lungs, all of your organs can have an impact. No rain right now on radar. We actually saw showers and thunderstorms try to make their way into the tri-state earlier today, but just weren't able to do it. It all dissipated before it got here. Now kind of that wave of rain moving toward the Ohio Valley. You can see some of those showers in eastern Ohio moving toward the West Virginia border. But for us, the only chance that we will have for any kind of precipitation today will be spotty showers or storms that pop up because of the heat and humidity. So drought monitor, just want to remind you of this. This actually came out on Thursday. It comes out once a week. So it will be updated with some of the rain that we got over the weekend and, of course, the rain that we're going to get in the next couple of days once it comes out this Thursday. But we still need the rain. Moderate drought across a large portion of the region. Northern Kentucky, abnormally dry in many locations, too. So, yes, we could use the rain. Now, I'm going to break down each day here. Let me open up this graphic and show you our risk for severe storms today, tomorrow, and on Wednesday, because Storm Prediction Center does a good job of doing this 3 days out. Once they get to the fourth day, it becomes a little bit harder to predict. So these go from morning to morning. In other words, it goes from this morning through tomorrow morning. So this is today. We're in a marginal threat for severe storms. Basically, the Storm Prediction Center saying anything that pops up could be strong to severe, but it's going to take a lot of kind of lift in the atmosphere, and we don't have all of the ingredients present, so it will take some work to have some severe storms. Tomorrow, and this will go from tomorrow morning through Wednesday morning, still a marginal threat. So not a huge risk for severe storms, marginal. And then day 3, we have no threat for severe weather at all. That would be from Wednesday morning through Thursday morning. So the reason that I think on day 2 that we have that marginal threat for showers and thunderstorms across the area is because especially the evening hours, so basically from Tuesday evening through Wednesday morning, we have that increased threat for those severe storms. So that's why we're in that marginal threat. I think it's really going to be more focused Tuesday night through Wednesday morning. Okay, and then let's see here. What I wanted to show you next. Let's do this. Let's talk about the temperatures, which are really going to be the big story today and tomorrow. It's not so much storms because our storm chances are relatively small. So temperatures right now, 80s and 90s across the midsection of the country. You know, we're not the only ones dealing with this heat. As a matter of fact, I'll show you that map again of the heat advisories, and you'll see that it is actually here. I think this will show you how far reaching those advisories are. And the reason why it kind of popped up slowly is because they've expanded the areas. So now it's actually in effect for even more portions to our west and east. But yeah, these extend all along the East Coast pretty much. Well, let me see. Let's actually dive in so I can show you exactly where the advisories are. Because yeah, it looks like even a portion of Florida, which goes to show you how serious this is. That okay. Yeah, look at that. So the orange is a heat advisory. The brighter pink colors are heat watches and excessive heat warnings. So they go, I mean, it's, well, actually, it looks like even portions of Oregon are included in some of this. From coast to coast. I mean, that's pretty crazy. There are some breaks, obviously, but yeah, basically from coast to coast included in some of those advisories, watches, and warnings related to the heat. So yeah, it's a big deal. Okay, let's look at our local temperatures. Yeah, a beach would be nice, or like a public pool that's open and free, which there are some. You have to you have to live in certain areas to use those free pools, but the splash pads, I mean, at least you get a little bit of relief there. It reminds me of sprinkler days, right? Like splash pads are the modern day sprinklers that we had when we were kids. Of course, parents couldn't afford a pool, or grandparents couldn't afford a pool, so you got out the sprinkler and you ran through it so many times in one day, and you do like makeshift slip and slides if you couldn't afford the actual slip and slide, which, you know, the makeshift ones were just as good. Get a tarp and slick it up and you were good. But yeah, anyways, back to the temperatures. We're in the 80s to near 90 already. Now, these are actual temperatures. I'll show you the heat index, but these are the actual temperatures, so it feels warmer than this. 89 is the temperature right now at Lunken, 86 in Falmouth, 87 in Batavia, and CVG. Dew points are already in the 70s, and that's the number that really makes it uncomfortable, makes that air thick, makes it very difficult for your body to cool down, and those dew points are in the 70s. CVG, for example, and this is just, of course, one location. Actual temperature 87. It already feels like 94. This is worse than yesterday. Yesterday, actually, let me see. I think the heat index yesterday made it into the upper 90s, but it's going to be far worse today. Let me see. Let's see, 90. I did make it up to 99, it looks like, at one point yesterday around 3 p.m. This is at Lunken, though. But 95 pretty consistently. It was just that 1 hour that it was at 99. At Lunken right now, the heat index is 97. Let me look at how high that heat index got at CVG yesterday. It was like 95. So yeah, so today it's going to be much worse. I mean, especially when you look at how it's only noon, it already feels like 94. Here's some of the other heat indices. As I mentioned, Lunken, it already feels like 97. Now, Batesville, there's one of two things going on, and maybe both. There's either an instrument error there reading a very high dew point, which is making the heat index very high, or it's the vegetation around that area. And that's why I say it could be both, because we know the vegetation in that area is thick enough that it holds on to moisture, and that kind of skews the reading there. But this is so high that I wouldn't be surprised if it's also some instrument error. Either way, most of us, the heat index is in the mid to upper 90s already. Or maybe I should say for some of us, it feels like 97 in Lebanon and Lunken, feels like 94 at CVG. And those numbers, again, are only going to be climbing up. Actually, let me see, where do I have the future feels like temperature? Actually, I think I have that a couple different areas. All right, let's look at this one. Okay. So later this afternoon, you're going to get into the triple digit heat indices, 100, 101, definitely possible. And then tomorrow, it's very similar. So this model doesn't show it quite as hot. If this verifies that the heat index only gets into the mid 90s tomorrow, then we probably won't have a heat advisory issued. But this is just one model showing that the heat index stays in the mid 90s tomorrow, and it's not quite as bad as today. We're going to see a big difference, though, a big change once that cold front moves through on Wednesday. So tomorrow, again, we think the heat index is in the mid to upper 90s, and then it really drops by the end of the week back down into the low 80s, and that's because of a cold front that's going to move through. So let's show you what the model is showing for storm chances. So for today, it's just spotty thunderstorms. Most of us will stay dry. You notice that model kind of keeps those storm chances further to our north. And then Tuesday, again, a spotty shower or thunderstorm will be possible again on Tuesday. Tuesday night into Wednesday is when that cold front starts to bring us more widespread showers and thunderstorms. Wednesday morning, we're looking at more of those widespread storms. It continues into the afternoon and evening. Kind of the last round of storms is going to be about 6 to 7 p.m. on Wednesday. And then not only do the temperatures drop, but that dew point drops, the humidity drops, much more comfortable air for the end of the week. Now, Jessica, I think it was Jessica, asked about storm chances even further off to our west. So let's kind of dive in here, and this might, yeah, okay. So yes, it does look like there could be some pretty strong storms moving through, and this is later this evening, through parts of Illinois, Missouri, kind of dropping off toward the Cincinnati area, but most of the models show this weakening before it gets here. So that's why there's actually an increased threat for severe storms to our northwest, which does include the Chicago area, northern Indiana, those spots, because of those storm chances. But for us, our best chance is going to be later in the day on Tuesday into Wednesday. Wednesday is when the cold front moves through, finally brings us more of those widespread showers and storms, the much needed rain across the area, and then cooling us off by the end of the week and into the weekend. Thursday and Friday look great. I mean, you're going to be looking at lots of sunshine, but cooler and drier air. And I don't just mean in the way, when I say drier, not only the fact that we're not going to have rain, not only is it rain free, but drier air mass, meaning lower humidity, much more comfortable conditions expected. Now, as we head into Saturday and Sunday, you're going to start to see that temperature warm up, start to see the humidity creep up, but it's still really pleasant for the weekend too, with mainly dry conditions expected. And then next week, we kind of do it all over again. It's going to be very similar conditions yet again. Okay, let's look ahead to that 7-day forecast. And I'll try and answer some of these questions. Okay, so today and tomorrow, and I might have to look at this forecast between shows. I'll be back on the air at 3 o'clock and adjust some of these temperatures. But as of now, mid-90s Monday and Tuesday, hot and humid air too, so it feels like it's closer to 100. Overnight lows, well, we don't really cool off that much, down into the 70s. Wednesday, we're looking at more scattered showers and thunderstorms, and then cooler Thursday and Friday, highs in the low 80s, back to the mid to upper 80s this weekend. So warming up for both Saturday and Sunday. But you really want to look at these lows. Look at the overnight lows in the 50s and 60s. That goes to show us that the humidity is going to be lower too, because when you start the day with that more refreshing air, you know that it's going to kind of set the stage for a better day too, that the high temperatures are going to be cooler too, because, you know, to get really hot, you got to start hot. You've got to start, you know, to get really humid, you got to start humid. So those muggy mornings lead to humid afternoons. Those warm mornings lead to hot afternoons. And that's what we're seeing today and tomorrow. It does start to change by the middle to the end of the week. So if you have outdoor plans this weekend, they're going to be fine. If you're trying to go to the swimming pool, maybe a little cooler than what you've been used to, but still going to be great weather to be outside. It's a shame the Reds aren't in town this weekend because really nice weather. But of course, over the weekend, they had to deal with some not so perfect weather at the ballpark. Okay, I saw a couple questions. Oh, Robert, I did show the drought monitor, and we're still abnormally dry, and some of us in a moderate drought. I can actually pull that up again. But at this point, it's almost old data because they only release it once a week, so it doesn't include any of the rain that we've seen since Thursday, basically. And of course, we did have some rain Friday. We had some rain yesterday. But this is what it looks like. It's going to pop up behind me here in a second. I swear there was another question about storm chances today, and now I can't see it. So please know that either your question got deleted or hidden or something. But I'll talk about storm chances today just to cover that. Yeah, so yes, we still need the rain. You know, it's interesting. At CVG, and I mentioned this over the weekend, at CVG, they actually... let me do this. Hold on. I believe have a surplus. But again, nobody lives at the airport. I've always said this. You know, we take our readings, and somebody messaged me on Facebook and said, so where are the official Cincinnati readings? I said they're at the airport. They said, so the official Cincinnati readings are in Kentucky. Yes. That is pretty crazy, right? But that's how it is. Okay. And the problem with Lunken, which of course is technically in Cincinnati, technically in Ohio. I mean, it is in Ohio, it is in Cincinnati. That's not a great place to take measurements because it's in that low spot. It's kind of, it reads temperatures a little different than what we would expect to see if it wasn't in that kind of like low-lying valley spot. It has a lot of moisture a lot of times because of the way that it sits and you know, the vegetation there as well. Okay, now I was mentioning rain. Okay, so yesterday CVG measured 84 hundredths of an inch of rain. Wow. And then on Friday, yeah, Sunday, Saturday, Friday, 32 hundredths, almost a third of an inch. And then actually CVG measured rain almost every day last week from the 9th all the way through yesterday, the 14th. So, yeah, now we're in a surplus for rain. We've had 3 inches measured at CVG so far this month. And normal up to this point would be 1.74. So yeah, so we're in a surplus now, which is good because of course May was very wet. June was very dry, and then now July, we're getting back on course. Thank you, Ron. Hello, Becky. Good afternoon. Okay. Storm chances today. That's right. Okay. Let's look at the her. Where is the her? There it is. Pull it up here. So again, this is in these storms that anything that we see today are really hard to predict because they're fueled by the heat and humidity. Everybody has the heat and humidity. It's a matter of who will see those storms kind of pop up this afternoon. Most of the models keeping it north of Cincinnati, kind of right on the fringe of our viewing area. So you're probably better off to see those storms from Dayton to Columbus, so closer to I-70 than here in the tri-state. Tonight we're all dry. Tomorrow morning we try to see, and again, this is what Rachel was talking about, those storms moving out of the Midwest. It tries to move in here tomorrow morning, but a lot like those storms that we saw moving out of Indianapolis this morning, it looks to dissipate tomorrow morning. We still have the chance for some of those storms tomorrow morning, especially in southeastern Indiana, but for most of us, it will dissipate before it gets here. Wednesday, a better chance for more widespread showers and storms throughout much of the day Wednesday, not only in the morning, but continuing into the evening. Wednesday's storm chances really don't end until about 7 p.m. That's when we start to see the drier weather moving in. Okay. No, the storms will not be like yesterday. So yesterday at this time we already saw those storms developing off to our northwest, and we were able to track them on radar into our area. Now, the surprising thing for me was that they remained pretty strong and even in some spots strengthened as they moved into the tri-state. I didn't really expect that. But yeah, at this point, at this time yesterday, we could already see those storms on radar, and what you're seeing right now is nothing has developed to our northwest. So we don't expect any problems with those storms today like what we had yesterday. And hello, Molly from Pleasant Plain, Ohio. And thank you for the question. Okay, so I think that's all I have for you. We've got to get off the air to get ready for Now in the Natty coming up at 12:30. And then I've got to get ready for the 3 o'clock newscast. I'll be on at 3 and 4 today. Chief Meteorologist Steve Horsemeyer, 5 and 6. Catherine's off again tomorrow, so I'll be doing the same thing. So you'll see me on 19 at noon tomorrow as well. Okay, so again, I think that's all that I have for you right now. Yes. And Reds are gone until the end of until after the All-Star break. So usually we are simultaneously busy with them and our Fox 19 duties. But yeah, today don't have to worry about the Reds with those pop-up storms, which is kind of a refreshing change. Okay. So yeah, as I mentioned, that's all I have for you now. Have a good day. Stay cool. Heat advisory in effect until 8 p.m. for everyone. So have a way to stay cool. Get some air conditioning. If you don't have it at your home, go somewhere that does. Libraries are often a great place to go. The malls, you can stay cool, some sort of shopping place. Yeah, just try and take a break from that heat if you can and stay well hydrated. All right, guys, have a great day. I'll see you at 3 o'clock this afternoon or tomorrow on 19 at noon.